Today we're going to talk about finger patterns again, but this time we're going to talk about the 1-2 finger pattern. The 1-2 finger pattern looks just like this, and it's where my first and second finger are close together, forming a half step, but my third and my fourth finger are spread apart, forming a whole step. This is usually the second finger pattern that students learn on the violin and the viola, and it will give us kind of more of a minor sound, if you will. But sometimes we call it the low 2 finger pattern. Your teacher may refer to it as low 2. So we're going to be able to, by the time that we're done today, be able to get really good at this low 2 finger pattern. And then our next video will show us switching between the 2-3 finger pattern, which we can also call the high 2 pattern, and the 1-2 finger pattern, which we call the low 2 pattern. So let's get started. First, we are going to talk about the letter names that we're going to play with the 1-2 pattern on the D string. So if you watch me put down my notes on the D string, you'll notice that first and second finger are touching and close together. That gives us the half step. So the notes on the D string are D, E, F natural, G, and A. Let's play that together. So I'll play it first, and then you can play it back with me. So here I go. D, E, F natural, G, A, G, F natural, E, D. Your turn. Ready? Here we go. D, Good job. And on the A string then, our notes will be A, B, C natural, D, and E. Let's try that together. I play first and you play back. Listen. A. Your turn. A string. Ready? And excellent. So let's go ahead and go through all of our strings, and we're going to include our viola friends in here too. So we're going to cover the C string notes and, of course, violin E string notes, and we can't forget about the G string notes as well, because both instruments share the G, D, and A strings. So we just gave you the notes for the D string and A string. Let's talk about the G real quick. The G string is a little bit different because you would think that it would be G, A, B, C, D, but the way that notes work, we have to play a B flat on that note. So G, A, first finger, B flat, C, and D. So this is kind of our first flat note that we're learning. G, A, B flat, C, D. And I'll play that, and you play it back. Here it is. Your turn. G and good job. So for our viola friends, let's go ahead and do the C string. Ready? Here's our C string notes. C, D, E flat, F, and G. I'll play, you play back. Your turn. And C, D, E flat. Excellent. And now let's go over to the E string. So the notes on the E string are E, F sharp, G, A, and high B. Let's play it. I play first and you play back. One more time, your turn. Here we go. And E. Excellent job. All right. So we've covered all 5 strings. Now we're going to play an exercise where we go from one string to the next string to the next string to the next string, etc. So we're going to start on the A string, we're going to go down to D, we're going to go down to G, then the viola C string, and then finally we will end with the violin E string. So here we go. We're going to start, we're going to play together exactly that. So I'll count us off and we'll go from one to the next to the next to the next. Ready? 1, 2, A string, and D string, and G, and C, and E string. All right, you did it. Oh, I have to stop and interject to talk about something very important when we're playing the 1-2 finger pattern. And that has to do with what we call independent fingering. Now, there are two basic types of fingering. There's the independent fingering, which I'm going to show you, and there is block fingering. Now, block fingering you probably have been doing. Most teachers teach block fingering from the get-go. And that means, so for instance, if I'm putting down a third finger, I'm putting down 1, 2, and 3. I'm not just putting down third by itself. Or if I'm playing second finger, I'm putting down 1 and 2. That gives me the second finger. But with independent fingering, we're going to be putting down one finger at a time. Now, there are times when we do independent fingering and there are times when we do block fingering, but we have to be able to switch between the two. So when I'm playing a 1-2 finger pattern, there's some tendons in here between my second and third finger that make it really difficult to keep a low 2 second finger down and then reach for the third finger. It just makes it really hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to independently finger the third finger when we play a 1-2 pattern, and that will help us reach that third finger and get it more in tune and make everything a lot less, have a lot less tension. I'm going to play D. And when I get to the third finger, I'm going to play that and release those fingers. If I don't do that, sometimes there is a chance that I will play that third finger out of tune. It's just a little bit low. So when I use independent, I can reach and make that G match exactly, and then the 4. And when I come back, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to block my first and second finger again. So as I put down the 1 and the 2, I'm blocking those 2 fingers. But then when I put down the 3, I want to try to lift that up. So independent fingering will allow me to play a little bit more in tune with that third finger, but it also has some really cool other side effects, and one of those is the ability to start doing vibrato, which I know that a lot of you want to do vibrato, so that will come later, but it's really hard to do vibrato when all of your fingers are down. So whenever we do vibrato, we're always using independent fingering anyways. So this is a start to getting used to doing independent fingering is a start to get you doing that vibrato that you're looking for. So hope that helps a little bit in getting you to understand why you can see me lifting my fingers up, and you can try it. But if you're able to play those in tune with block fingering, you can do that. But I would definitely recommend trying the independent third finger and fourth finger as you go through these finger patterns, just to try it out and see how it works for you. So we're going to practice it one more time. We're going to go through it again, just so you can practice it and get really, really good at doing the 1-2 finger pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, A string, and D string, and C. And E string. All right, you did it. So that does it for our 1-2 finger pattern practice. Keep practicing on your own. Go through this video multiple times and get really good at that 1-2 pattern and that independent fingering on that third finger. And we will see you next time because we're going to be doing a video on switching between the 2-3 pattern and the 1-2 pattern. It will make you an amazing player and be able to play all kinds of great pieces. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you next time.